Hey there guys, how's it going? And welcome to a video where I'm going to be giving you my opinions on the PS4 and the Xbox One, having used them both now. As you might have known, I got the Xbox One and the PS4 delivered to me kindly by Sony and by Microsoft. So I didn't pay for either of these. They sent me them out as like a review kind of thing, and obviously for some free promotion so I can check out their stuff. Now, a lot of you will might think, oh, you know, you've gone Xbox route because I've done a lot of Xbox One videos the last couple of days. But that's not true at all. That's only because I know there's a lot of PlayStation stuff out there, so I wasn't so interested in rushing out the PS4 stuff, because a lot of you would have seen that, whereas the Xbox One stuff, you know, the console didn't come out until today, so I thought that it would be cool to rush out the unboxing and show you the exclusives and all that kind of thing. But I do have both. I've been using both, and I want to use this, you know, great opportunity I've had by giving both of them to give you an honest review of them both and help you make a decision as to which console you should buy. Now, I've seen quite a bit of negativity around the Xbox One, and it's fair enough in some ways. I think what they did with the DRM always on and forced connect, you know, I wasn't happy about those decisions, and you guys know that, especially in my videos. But I'm not going to let that kind of sway my opinion of the console, because although, you know, all those things I wasn't happy about, once I actually got the console, I was like, oh wow, like this Connect thing is pretty cool. I can see what they were doing here. This functionality switching between other apps and games really quickly, I can see what they were going for, and it's really good. So if you want a quick overview of my opinions before I waffle on into more detail, I would say if you're the kind of person who has a lot of gadgets, you've got a console and you have a laptop and a PC that you have near to your console, so you've got a lot of that multi-functionality going on anyway, you're not really interested in kind of multimedia as much as you are just pure games, then I think the PlayStation 4 is probably the choice for you. It is cheaper, it runs games beautifully, they've got great support and everything, so I think it's going to be a great choice for you, and I think a lot of you guys who watch my videos are going to be in that camp. However, if you have multiple members of family who are going to be using one console, if you would just like to use multiple apps, then the Xbox One, it is a great console. Like, I was using it, I'm a bit skeptical of it because I'm like a gamer kind of person, so I'm a bit skeptical of it. But when I started using it, I was like, you know what, this is actually really cool, really fun, and I'm glad they did this. I'm glad they did that. You can switch so quickly between things on the Xbox One. It is super smooth. You can snap on things. The way the Kinect understands the voice commands is really good. Hopefully they'll put even more in, but I absolutely love the voice commands. You know, that's not for everyone. Some of you won't want to do that, and I'm the kind of person who would have said, you know, oh, I don't want to talk to my console. But then when it comes to it and you get all this functionality on the console, then you know, it is really cool. So I mean, kind of as an overview, I feel whatever you buy, you're going to really enjoy them, and I know that's what a lot of people have been saying, but it's true. These are great consoles. Both of them have game recording functions. Both of them, you know, have their own apps, a store full of games to play. They are really fast. They switch between games. They play games, you know, beautiful graphics. One of the kind of downfalls of the Xbox that a lot of people are saying is, oh, it's only 720p, some games, blah, blah, blah. I'll be honest, in a practical sense, when you're actually playing, I mean, I play on a 27-inch monitor, it's a 1080p monitor, you don't really notice it. You really don't. And that's from someone who, I'm like a PC gamer as well, and when I change a PC game from 720 to 1080, I'm like, wow, this is a crazy difference, like unbelievable. However, maybe it's the upscaling that's working in the Xbox One. I mean, if you think about a lot of the last generation of consoles, the resolutions weren't 1080p a lot of the time, and it didn't really seem too different. It only takes a second for your eyes to adjust, and for the most part, I didn't really notice that difference. So if that's going to be your selling point, you know, oh, you know, Xbox does 720 and this does 1080, so I'm going to get the PS4, I would say that's probably a bad decision, because both of them look absolutely great when you're playing the game, so I don't see that as an issue at all. When it comes to the controllers, they are both good, but PlayStation has stepped up their game. PlayStation has massively stepped up their game with the controller. It was probably one of the biggest complaints of the last generation from people who played 360, like, oh, PS3 controller's crap. And that's a big deal if you're an FPS player, like I'm sure a lot of you guys play Call of Duty and whatever other FPS you enjoy, Battlefield or whatever. And the controller is a big deal when it comes to that. On the PlayStation 4, the sticks have a lot more resistance now, which makes it a lot better for aiming with your PS4. You know, the buttons are great, that all works. The triggers are good. They've actually got the curved triggers now as well, so your fingers are less likely to slip off of them. And they have a slightly textured surface on the triggers as well. Before, on the old controllers, they used to be just smooth. So in my opinion, the PlayStation 4 wins just about on the controller, but the Xbox controller is really good. The only one downfall and complaint I'd have with the Xbox One controller is how loose the sticks feel, like how light they feel. But after getting used to that, you probably wouldn't even notice something like that. And other than that, you know, it's a great controller. The triggers are really good on the Xbox as well. I'd still say the Xbox has the triggers, has the advantage on the triggers slightly. They're slightly bigger. They have more of a curve to them. So in general, I'd say the PlayStation 4 is better, but not by much. It's not something that's going to be a console seller in my opinion. Also something that's good with the Xbox, like I've shown you, that game DVR thing, the recording in the Xbox is really spot on. PlayStation will allow you to record for longer, but when I watched back my PlayStation clips, they didn't look as good quality as the Xbox 360 clips. Also with the Xbox 360, you can just, you know, talk to it a lot easier and get things going a little bit easier. But the PlayStation does also have that functionality, so that doesn't mean it's a system seller, but I would say in terms of the recording functions of the system, Xbox just about has that one, but only just. Now, in terms of release games, I've got to mention these. PS4 release games are decent, but they're definitely launch titles. Although I've really enjoyed Knack, that's not going to be for everyone. I really enjoy that kind of game. Killzone Shadowfall looks great, but it's not a masterpiece. It's not really what I would say what Killzone 2 was to me. I loved Killzone 2 and Killzone 3. I thought they were epic. Killzone Shadowfall feels like a Killzone launch title. It doesn't feel like a full Killzone, but it does look good. It's a shooter you'll be able to have some fun with, but it's not going to be the be-all and end-all. And I think the saving grace of the PlayStation and the Xbox is that they both obviously have some of the big games already out. Battlefield, Call of Duty, FIFA, and then the third-party games will start to come out slowly. However, with Microsoft, I do really enjoy their relaunch titles. Forza 5, I think it's a great game. I absolutely love driving games, so that one suits me to a T. Rise is fun and looks beautiful, but gets repetitive. So it's more of a showcase for what your console can do, and it looks great as well. Considering it's a launch title, done on the Crytek engine, I believe, looks absolutely amazing. Killer Instinct as well is a load of fun. So they've both got some good games. I would say Xbox just about edges it on the launch titles at the moment, but that's if you don't include the multi-party games. I mean, if you mainly play Battlefield and FIFA, then it's not going to matter to you which console has the better launch titles. I do have to note, Microsoft's launch titles are very, very microtransaction heavy. Now, it's not to the point where you need to spend money to do better in them, but they both, or, you know, Killer Instinct and Rise and Forza all allow you to get a boost if you pay money. Now, for the most part, I thought, oh, that's a bit of a shame. But to be fair, if you really enjoy the game, you want to play it, so you want to get the experience. So I don't think it's like a problem, but for some people, they will have a problem with that, you know, in kind of a moral sense. You know, people will think, you know, the game shouldn't be like that, and I don't think they really should. But it doesn't bother me too much when it's to the point where I can still enjoy the game plenty without that. I mean, if they put that into multiplayer, you could get some sort of boost by paying in multiplayer, then that would be, you know, where the red flags start coming up. The actual interface itself, Xbox slightly wins on that one, but again, they're both very functional, very fast, very nice. Sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to find things on the Xbox version, but once you get used to it, it's absolutely fine. And PlayStation interface is very blue. I'm not sure if you can get custom themes like you used to be able with PlayStation 3, but that would be good. One thing to note, I haven't gone on the PlayStation Store yet because it's not open for Europeans, and I can't play PlayStation Online. But I have to say, I think I'll be playing Call of Duty, Battlefield on the PlayStation. Like last generation, the multiplayer games, you practically had to play on Xbox. Better functionality when talking to friends, especially Call of Duty ran smoother on the Xbox, which I think, to be honest, is more of a programmer issue than the actual console couldn't deal with it. But I think this time there's going to be no difference. I haven't played PlayStation 4 Call of Duty Online. I've heard there might be some issues with frame rate. If there is, I'll have to take a look and then I'll decide for myself whether I feel that it's a connection issue or is it actually the game handling it. But I've played Call of Duty multiplayer game modes and it runs fine, looks absolutely great. So in conclusion, like I said earlier, both of them are great. You're going to love either of them. I would highly recommend buying either of these. You know, if you get one for Christmas or, you know, I would be ecstatic with either of them. If you're going to buy one for a family member, I think both of them will make amazing presents that they will love, whoever you're buying them for. But if you're a gamer who has lots of gadgets, you have an iPad or you have a laptop or a desktop next to your console, so you're not going to really need some of the extra functionality the Xbox provides, and you're a games gamer, PlayStation 4 is the choice, in my opinion. It's a little cheaper as well. Xbox, though, has a slightly better launch lineup, in my opinion, again, not including the third-party games. And Xbox is for someone who, you know, the Xbox sits in the living room very well. Maybe not in the boys' bedroom. Maybe in the boys' bedroom you put the PlayStation 4. But in the living room, and also people who want to keep their gamer score, people who love the Microsoft interface and Xbox Live, it's still an amazing choice. So both of them I'm extremely happy with. And if I was going to rate them, I would probably give the PlayStation a 9 out of 10 and the Xbox One an 8.5. And the Xbox One only gets an 8.5 just because because it's me. If it was someone else, you know, like I said in that scenario, the family console or someone who just loves Xbox or bloody blah, then the Xbox is a 9 or a 10 for them, and the PlayStation might be an 8 for them. So that's just my ratings on, if you're like me, what I would go for, especially because the PlayStation is that little bit cheaper. I think that's a great option, although you might have to be a little bit patient. If you don't like Battlefield, Call of Duty, FIFA, you might have to be a little bit more patient with some of the games that you can play and enjoy on your PlayStation. But it's early days. I remember back in the day when PlayStation had Resistance and MotorStorm, and that was all you could play. You know, those were some... I mean, I actually loved Resistance, but for most people, they weren't really massively into those, and they had to wait for some better launch titles, and then eventually COD 4 came out for the PS3, and I was like, yeah, damn, this is it. Anyway, I'm waffling on now. I hope you enjoyed my opinion on both of these. You know, very fortunate from Sony and Microsoft to send me them. And, you know, a lot of you guys won't be able to get both of them, but at least this gives me an opportunity to give you my fair opinion of what I think about both of them. And the news is good, guys. They're both great. You're going to love them. So that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed my little review and thoughts on these consoles. And I'll see you guys next time.